How's it going, guys? And welcome to a special video that I've put together just for you. Things are about to get serious here because I've taken off my hat. We're getting serious today. So I always get asked, Eric, what's the best beginner demon of each difficulty I should do? Like, what's the first easy demon I should do? What's the first medium demon I should do? And I always just throw out some random ones that I've thought of, you know, but I never really gave it a ton of thought. But I get asked it so many times that I want to throw this video together to help you guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 5 levels of each difficulty that I think are great beginner demons of that particular difficulty that are like a good step up from the previous demon difficulty. So if you're just starting to get into hard demons or you want to get into hard demons, you're still stuck at mediums, then I'll give you like some good hard demon options for you to do. 5 different ones, as a matter of fact, so you can pick and choose which one you want to do. So I wanted to pick a mixture of levels, not just old levels because I'm an old timer, you know, in the game. I picked some old levels, I picked some new levels. There's a nice mix, so you can kind of like pick what you want. Also, for each category, I chose 1 9 circles level just because I know people just love the wave. So let's go. 5 beginner demons of each difficulty. It's gonna be a long one. Well, guys, this is very stereotypical of me to recommend, but the first demon that you could do of any difficulty is, well, clearly it's the Nightmare. And the reason why I choose this level is because even though this is a very easy demon, it is like one of the easiest in the game. And for some of these, I don't recommend doing like the very easiest demon of each difficulty that you can do, because I don't know if you'd benefit much from it. But when it comes to the Nightmare, I think there's a nice balance of game modes, and there's some parts that are like just hard enough to make it a decent challenge. It's a good toe into demons when you first start doing them, and I think it's a great little introduction. Now, it is much easier than a lot of levels out there. A lot of demons is way easier. It's one of the easiest easy demons, but I think it still has some more value than something like the Lightning Road. There's a little bit more of a mix of game modes, and it's a little bit more interesting than that. So the Nightmare is a really good place to start. All right, so here's an alternative. If you want something that's a little more challenging than the Nightmare, but still pretty easy, still an easy demon, you can go with something like Shiver by SP Kale. This level is, I would say, a little bit harder than the Nightmare. There's a little bit more of a mix of game modes, and there's even some things where there's some jump orbs that you have to skip. So also like a duel. So I think this level is probably a little bit better to start out with than the Nightmare. But, you know, if I was gonna do like a bunch of these sort of easier demons before I moved on to something else, I would recommend Shiver to do after the Nightmare. Or, I mean, you could just do it first. It all depends on what you want to do. This is a very good option for a first easy demon because it does go a little bit fast, and you do have to have some decent reflexes to do it, but still a lot of the inputs are very open, and it's a very easy demon. It's another good demon to dip your toes into the water of demon levels. All right, so the next demon I'm going to recommend for getting into easy demons is actually a 2.2 level. It's a very easy demon that you can get into that actually has more of like some features that you might find in 2.2 levels, just, you know, to give you guys a little bit more of a modern take on the list, because a lot of the levels that people recommend for these lists of like the best beginner demons are older levels. But this is a great example of a newer one that has like a bunch of camera controls and stuff, a little bit of swing copter, some flashy effects, but it is a pretty easy demon, and it's a good way to dip your toes into easy demons. It's super intense, but also very doable and very open. It's mostly just like a battle of going through the chaos, but a lot of the inputs are very intuitive. But it also does have a nice mix. Like there's wave, there's swing copter, there's robot. There's a nice mix of game modes. It'll get you better at the game, but it's also a pretty easy demon for you to get into. All right, so the next level I want to recommend is one called Unite by some random cow. This is a great beginner easy demon. It's a little bit harder than the rest, but just a little bit. But there's a nice mix of game modes. It's very clear. It's very like modernized, so it's like a lot of the newer levels. It's very visually pleasing, but it's not too intense. It's great. It's slow paced, and the inputs aren't too difficult, but it is a little bit harder than the other ones just because there's a little bit more tight flying, just a smidgen. It's not too much worse, but I think this one, like if you were gonna do one of these out of all the ones I've recommended, this one would probably make you a bit better at the game without being too frustrating. So So this is the one that I would definitely recommend you guys do. As you can see, there's like some robot jumps here, but it's very, very open. Yeah, so this part goes a little bit fast paced here, but once again, those black jump orbs, they're just like all buffers and stuff. So this level, it's a great first easy demon to do, because I believe that this one will get you much better at the game than the other levels. However, the other levels will still get you better at the game. Even just playing Geometry Dash gets you better. But I think this is a great beginner easy demon to dip your toe into. So for the easiest 9 circles level, in my opinion, of the easy demon category it's Ultra Paracosm. Ultra Paracosm, the nice thing about this is leading up to the wave part, it's really easy. So it's really just all about the wave. Like this ship it's so wide open, and that's it that you got to get through. And then it goes to the wave section, which also is very wide open. So this is a very good beginner wave level if you just want to focus on the wave, which a lot of people do, by the way. I've seen a lot of people's progress, and they're like, oh, I've done all these circles levels. I'm like, have you done any other demons of these categories? They're like, no, I've just been doing circles levels up until hard demon. Which, you know, you do you, but I figured because they're so popular, I should include 9 circles levels and wave levels because people just love the wave. So I've recommended 5 easy demons. I recommended the Nightmare, Shiver, Ruins of Destiny, Unite, and Ultra Paracosm. Now, if you've beaten one of those levels, I'm going to quickly just recommend a level that you could do next as like a second. So I recommend a level called CSQN. It's really good. It's really fun, really intense. And it's a one tiny step up from those other levels. So if you want to do a second easy demon, I highly recommend this. It's really good. When it comes to a first medium demon, now it starts to become a little more apparent as to what can be a good one. Because when it comes to easy demons, some of them are just so easy that they're like 8 or 9 stars. And so I recommended some of the easiest ones, which I don't know if they'd get you that much better at the game. Easy demons, I find you can quickly move up that category and get to medium demons. Now, when it comes to medium demons, I gotta recommend B by Motley Orc. This is it's a great intro to medium demons. It's not so hard. It kind of feels like a hard, easy demon. And it's very fair. It's very consistent. And it tests you on a few different game modes. And also, like, I wouldn't really say memorization patterns because it's pretty clear because of the animations where the bees are going to go. But you also got to know your stuff a little bit. You can't really, like, just sight read the level to the end and win. You got to practice a bit. And so I think this, it has a nice, healthy balance of, like, flying, timings, fast sections. But it always feels very fair. And it's a really good level to improve your skills when you're just getting into the medium demon category. When it comes to medium demons, I find it's hard to find like easier medium demons because I feel like the difficulty ramps up pretty quick, but they are out there and I will recommend a few others. So the next one may come as a bit of a surprise to you, but there's this medium demon that's actually pretty easy. That's a new level and it's legendary. It's a Crud by Geostorm. So this level is nice because it's a medium demon, but a lot of these inputs here, they get really consistent because there's a lot of like buffers and stuff. But the level does have like a few hard parts that will challenge you, and those challenging parts will make you better at the game. Like this, it's like kind of semi-memorization, but you see where the inputs are, like it's well marked where you got to input. It's a very necessary skill in Geometry Dash, especially when it comes to like medium demons and easy demons where things are really well marked where you're supposed to jump. You just look for the jump indicators and then press the button. So it's really good at getting your eyes just looking for the jump indicators and then pushing the button right on them and just trusting the level to work, because this level works really well when you trust it, you know? Now I am going for some coins here and stuff, but if you don't take the coin path like this level is, it's really easy for a medium demon, and it's a great intro into medium demons because while, you know, some of the inputs are really easy and stuff, like a lot of them are buffers, it is a bit longer of a level than the other ones I've recommended, and it is good nerve control. I would say some of the hardest parts are when it starts going like a little bit fast here, but once again, it's pretty wide open. It's just such a good introduction into medium demons, you know? A lot of little techniques that it teaches you while remaining like fairly accessible. Like this duel here is asymmetrical, but it is very, very chill, you know? And the flying as well. It's cool because there's a lot of portals and gravity changes and stuff. But with that said, it's very intuitive and it just plays so immensely well. And it's so fun, and it's one of the easiest medium demons. So I definitely highly recommend checking it out. I think Out of all the medium demons, this is the one I'd probably recommend the most for getting yourself into the next tier of difficulty of medium demon if you're working your way up from easies. Okay, the next level I want to recommend for an easy medium demon for you guys to get into is Cyber Moon by Splint. This is a great first medium demon because it gets really consistent. It also has a bunch of 2.2 stuff. I didn't want to include just older levels, so I wanted to give you guys some 2.2 options as well. And it's a great first medium demon 2.2 option because it gets really consistent. It has like a few challenging moments, but it also has like a swing copter, like a mini swing copter that can be decently challenging. So it's not like a freebie medium demon, but it also is fairly easy and a good demon to do to dip your toes into the water of medium demons. I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm gonna say time to dip your toes into the next demon difficulty. So if you have been doing like some harder easies, I believe you'd be able to crush this, and it's a great way to get into medium demons. This mini swing copter is great practice. I think the level also just looks incredibly gorgeous. It's really cool. And yeah, it's mostly just at the end of the level, it going fast, having like some mildly challenging like portals with the wave and the ship and the swing copter. And it's a really good way to get into easy mediums. Okay, so I don't know where my video of this went to. It's probably like in a 100 life challenge somewhere. I think I got this level in a 100 life challenge. But this is a pretty nice beginner medium demon. It's called Inner by Lunarex, and it is really cool. It gets really consistent, but I would say out of all the levels so far, this one is the most challenging, but it's also the one, as you can see there with the portals, you got to switch gravity and stuff. It's also the one that's going to get you better at the game. So I think this is a really good first medium demon to do because it's pretty challenging, but it also gets very, very consistent. And I would say there's only like 3 or 4 inputs that are really hard, and then the rest is just about learning like some more unconventional gameplay, which is something you got to do when you're getting up. Like right there, you saw there's a little bit of spam and you're hitting your head there. I really like this level because it has some unconventional gameplay and it's not just as straightforward as the other levels. I think this level is great for getting better at the game, and I think it's a really solid first medium demon to do because it's not as easy as the other ones, but it's also not super long, and it's very, very good practice. All right, well, time for the medium demon circles level that I recommend, and that one is Solar Circles. This level is, for a medium demon, it's pretty chill. I think it's one of the easiest medium demon circles levels. Some of the circles levels in the medium demon category are actually like pretty difficult, like Fractured Circles and Fear Me and those ones, because they got like really hard timings at the beginning. This one gets really consistent at the start, and then once you get to the wave, it's definitely tighter than the easy demon counterparts, but there's still quite a lot of room here. And, you know, it may look a little awkward getting through some of these corridors, but there's quite a lot of room, and it flows really nicely. It's really good practice. So this is probably this definitely is a good starting place for medium demon wave levels. So once you've done one or a few of those levels that I've recommended for beginner medium demons, when you want to improve your skills, I would say to move on to something like Verity by Serpunge, which isn't a hard medium demon, but it's very good practice to give you that next leg up. It's a fantastic level. It's pretty chill, but the ending does get pretty tough. And yeah, if you want to improve further after beginner mediums, give this level a shot.
Are you ready for some badassery?
What a classic. All right, so for hard demons, we're going into hard demons. There's this one level right here that I highly recommend for when you first start, which actually has a lot of really consistent parts. It's called Ditch Machine by Jazer, and I love recommending this level to people as a first hard demon because it does have some really conventional gameplay, parts that are really consistent like this, but it also has this unique duel, which actually isn't hard once you get the hang of it, but it is a little bit learny. And it is, guys, this level gets really consistent, and it's actually pretty chill. It's very good practice to get you better at the game, and once you do practice it skill wise, it is one of the easiest hard demons, but it does take a bit of practice. You do got to know your click patterns, but my god, this level will help you out immensely. And also it just has like some moments like this that are really easy that helps out with getting through the level. And if you're not going for coins, like even this part right here is pretty easy as well, the ship part. But yeah, this level, it's really good. It's a really good intro into hard demons. All right, so the next level I want to recommend is a level called Interstellar by Darwin. So this is like an early 2.1 level, but this level just, it's a nice, good test of your skill without being super hard. Oh,
Spicy meatball,
that's a spicy meatball. Man, I missed that notification.
Yo, let me check that out
It's really good because there's some parts where you got to go through a lot of portals like you're seeing there, but you got to go through portals, and there's some parts here as well, like there's a duel, but there's a lot of open space. So there's a lot of like little tests here that get you better at the game, but the timings and the openness of the level make it feel not very hard demonish, but it is hard demon because there's a lot of like unique little gameplay bits that make this really fun. This is also like a nice tight kind of slow wave. There's a lot of things that'll make you better at the game, but compared to other hard demons, it's really, really easy, which is a great, it just makes it such a good introduction into hard demons. This is a fantastic level. It's not frustrating. It's also really fun. So a big thing about this list that I want to recommend as well, like I said, is just like, I want there to be fun levels as well. And this level is just so fun. It's really fun. It's not super difficult compared to other hard demons. And it's very satisfying to pull off. But it also tests you, like right there, a duel going through those like gravity switches. There's enough of a test not to make it super free, but it's just such a good beginner demon to dip your toes into. And now I gotta recommend this level just because I love this level a lot. This is a very good introduction into hard demons. It's a level called Temple of Time by Dav, which is like it's a homage to Michigan, and it's a great level to practice timings. There's a lot of cube gameplay. There's some other game modes too, but it's a lot of cube timings and a lot of consistency with the cube. So if you do need help with timings, this is a great level to get into hard demons because it's not particularly hard. It's a lot of triple spikes, but a lot of other gameplay mixed in there as well, like a little bit of memorization in the Shadow Temple part and some kind of fastish moments. But I find that this level, it's mostly just learning what to do and then practicing those timings. So it's a great level to practice timings. It's, you know, if you're good at timings, oh my god, this is basically like a free hard demon. So it's a very easy hard demon, and it's also really fun, and it's just a great level to play. So I highly recommend this if you're getting into hard demons. All right, so the next hard demon I want to recommend is actually a newer one. I am recommending some newer levels in this, and it is Space Invaders by Manix and Laser Blitz. So this level it's pretty easy for a hard demon. However, there's a lot of 2.2 stuff in here. So when I played this first, I wasn't used to the 2.2 stuff yet, so it did take me a little longer than I thought. However, now if I played it, I'd probably crush it pretty easily. So it's really good practice for new 2.2 stuff with camera controls and everything, but also being in like a lot of the inputs aren't super hard. It's just getting used to how the level moves and flows around. And then once you know how it does, like going up and down through the screen there, once you know how to go through this section, it's actually a lot more open than it looks, and it's pretty easy for a hard demon. So I think this is really good practice, this level, for like getting into 2.2 hard demons in particular. Oh yeah, it's a great first hard demon to get into, and I think it's accessible to most people if you put the time and dedication into it. Like I said, the inputs themselves, they're not very tight. It's just getting comfortable knowing what to do with all the moving parts to the level. Like I'm looking at it right now, I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look that hard. But of course, you got to get used to all those transitions like that, right? You got to get used to that, which is why I included that, because it's very good practice for like modern 2.2 levels where there's a lot of things going on. Like, you know, a lot of people are like, oh no, like the 9 circles, or not the 9 circles, the no copyright sounds gauntlets are not sight readable, they're too hard. A lot of levels are like that now, so you got to get used to it, right? And you got to get used to all the moving parts that are going on with levels now. So this level, it's good practice for that, because it is intense, it's bombastic, but it's not super hard. And what not a better level to recommend than 9 Circles itself. 9 Circles is the perfect beginner 9 Circles hard demon. A lot of the 9 Circles demons that are in the hard demon category are quite a lot harder than 9 Circles. The hardest part about 9 Circles is actually just the beginning, getting used to the ship. The ball part's not particularly hard, but the ship in particular can be quite difficult. But then once you get to the wave part, I find it's really fair, it's really open, and it's mostly just like a wave consistency challenge. There's not many portal changes, it's just like the normal wave right here, and then it goes to reverse wave, and then it's normal mini wave, and then reverse mini wave, and there's not many changes. A level like Jawbreaker is sort of similar in difficulty, but it tests a lot on like portal transitions and stuff, and I find it a little more technical. So 9 circles is the perfect beginner circles level if you want to improve your wave skills. 100%. It's a great level to play. It's also just super fun. Honestly, not many circles levels beat the original 9 circles levels when it comes to fun factor. This level's awesome. Now, if you want to up your game after you've beaten a beginner hard demon, I recommend a level called Dance Massacre by Heinz. This level is pretty tough, and I used to recommend this as like a good first hard demon to people, but after playing it for the creation of this video, I was like, okay, this is quite a lot harder than some of the beginner hard demons that I should be recommending, but this is a nice like second hard demon. This is a nice step up after you've beaten a couple beginner hard demons, so give this a shot if you've beaten one or two of the other ones on the list. All right, now we're on to Insane Demons, and what not a better level to recommend than Windy Landscape is a great beginner Insane Demon. This level is so awesome. It touches on a lot of game modes. It's got some unique gameplay. Woogie always makes super fun levels, and so this level, it's an absolute pleasure to play, but it's also not super difficult. That part right there seems really hard at first when you're going through the ship, but it does get really consistent. So this level, it seems a little overbearing at first, but once you like break everything down, you do realize, oh yeah, it is kind of one of the easiest Insane Demons in the game. It does seem hard at first, but when you are moving up the ranks from like hard demon to Insane Demon, yeah, it starts getting like exponentially harder. Like the difference between easy and medium demons and medium and hard demons and hard and easy demons, the gap starts getting wider and wider as you go up. So yeah, this is gonna seem really hard at first. Moving from hard to Insane Demons is pretty difficult, but this is a great first beginner one that has a nice mix of game modes and duels and stuff, and it is just completely satisfying, but watch out for that jump at the end. All right, another great beginner Insane Demon is a level called Magma Bound by Scorch. This level is really good for getting into Insane Demons because there are some hard fast moments like this right here, and there's a hard robot part at the end, but this level does get really the most consistent out of Insane Demons, I think, with a little bit of practice. But it does have this nice combination of timings and dash orb timings in particular learning when to like let go of dash orbs at the right time, with some intense flying parts like this going through portals and stuff. It's really good. It still looks good to this day, man. Holy, this is like almost 5 years old at this point. Man, what a banger this was. Yeah, this robot part is pretty challenging. Honestly, this like fast-paced robot part, I would say that's one of the hardest parts in the level, and it's right at the end. So there's a lot of like nerve control and stuff that you got to watch out for, but it's a great way to get into Insane Demons for sure. The next beginner Insane Demon is Crazy 2 by Dav. This level's awesome. This level is awesome, and also it's probably a little bit more challenging than the other two I recommended. Maybe it's around Windy Landscape difficulty. It is a great beginner Insane Demon though. I think it's got like some more technicalities like that where you're kind of using the wave to go down the corridor. Like there's some parts that seem a little bit harder, but it's also, in terms of Insane Demons, it's quite a lot easier than a lot out there. But it also is a little bit flashier with like the transitions and stuff compared to Windy Landscape and Magma Bound. So you got to be really on your toes, and you got to get ready for that. You got to remember quite a lot more. So I'd say it's like a little bit more challenging, but also, yeah, still pretty easy. And it'll really test you on like some more, I guess, unique gameplay as compared to the other two. But yeah, this level is it's really good, and it's really fun, and it's a great introduction into Insane Demons. The next good beginner Insane Demon that you can do is one called Spacewalk 2 by Laser Blitz. This level is awesome. It's an Insane Demon, and it's really fast-paced. It's got a boss fight, but even though it has a boss fight, it's very clear where the attacks are going to go because there's other gameplay parts you got to go through. Like, you got to go through orbs and stuff, and this level, I find, it doesn't have a lot of super precise inputs. It's just really bombastic, and so you got to work your way through all, like, the craziness of the level, you know? The boss fights attacks, and also, like, the electricity and stuff. So it's really good for reading, like, more intense in your face levels if that's what you're into. And also it has some asymmetrical duels. So with a lot of these levels that I'm recommending, like all of the beginner demons of each difficulty, I always want to recommend like kind of a mix of gameplay modes. That's what I've been trying to do anyways. And this puts in like the duels, you know, you gotta have those duels in there. So Spacewalk 2, it's not very long. It's very fast paced and intense. It's a great beginner insane because, you know, you can bang it out pretty quick. All right, so the next level, I'm actually using someone else's video because this level was buffed. I think it was like a hard demon, but it's called Sine Waves by Dorami. Dorami recently buffed it a little bit. I wasn't able to tell quite what differences were made, but he buffed it a little bit compared to when I beat it. But it's still, even with the buffs, it is one of the easiest insane demons. Like, as you can see here, usually insane demon wave sections are really tight. This one has some unique patterns. There are some patterns you really got to get used to that seem difficult, but there's quite a lot more room compared to the normal insane demon 9 circles levels. And so this level is very doable, and it's one of the easiest insane demon wave levels. Also, I gotta say, the gameplay of this is one of the most fun 9 circles levels I've ever played. I really like Sine Waves a whole lot, and I just can't recommend it enough because not only is it fun, but it's also one of the easiest insane demons. So you guys can bang out an insane demon and dip your toes into the wonderful world of wave insane demons. Now, once you've done some beginner insane demons, I highly recommend moving on to Acropolis. This level is awesome. It's not a super hard insane demon, and it's mostly just getting consistent at the beginning. And then once you do, the rest of the level is basically just a stress test. It's a fantastic, like, upgrade from beginner insane demons. Extreme Demons, baby! You guys knew this level was coming up. I highly recommend as a first beginner extreme. Like, this is the one I most highly recommend out of all the beginner extremes. It's Accu by Nejfu. This level is just, it's so good. It's such a good introduction into extreme demons because it's pretty fair. It's pretty balanced. It's got a lot of things like skipping jump orbs, not buffering when you're supposed to. It's got like ship gameplay, wave gameplay, even like jump orbs in a wave section. It's actually really fun. It flows really well, and it's just a perfect introduction because it's not super hard. It's one of the easiest extreme demons out there. I'm sure there's some easier ones, but this one just, it works so well to get you better at the game and also to get you used to like little stress tests at the end, because the last like 15% of the level, when it slows down right here, it's really easy to die. You really got to be on your game. There's just so many little things that this level tests that's just perfect for getting into extreme demons, and I just can't recommend it enough. For a first extreme demon, go with Accu 100%. So the next extreme demon I want to recommend for a beginner one is one called Decay by Kiwi Penguin. This level is really, really good. I really like this level, and it stays slow speed going throughout the whole thing. So you don't got to worry about like the level just going off the wall super fast. However, with that said, it is going slow. There's still some really hard timings, as there should be. It's an extreme demon, but it is one of the easier extreme demons in the game. And I feel like it's really unique for giving yourself control of like these game modes, because it gives you a lot of time to react. However, this fast part is really hard. It's really hard to get used to, I should say, but it does get really consistent. It's actually one of the most consistent parts of the level once you get used to it, but it takes a long time to practice this part. It's learning, as are any extreme demons, really. Even Accu, you're gonna be there, especially if it's like your first extreme demon, you're gonna be learning it for a long time. But this level is just so incredibly fun, and I found it very easy to read and see exactly what inputs I had to do. And it's good. It's very easy to focus on this level for a long period of time because it's not going too fast. It doesn't give you like a headache, you know? Like some levels that are just like hyper speed the whole time, they can be headachy. You know what I'm saying? But this one, it's nice and chill. You can focus on it. You can grind it out for a long period of time, and it's really good. It does have like some stress tests at the end though, because it's quite a hard ship part at the end, and I died here a few times. But my God, is this level ever satisfying, and it is really fun, and it's a great first extreme demon to do. And of course, I can't do a list of beginner extremes without recommending Cataclysm. This level is, I wouldn't say it's the best beginner extreme to do, but it's still a really good beginner extreme to do, because there's a lot of focus on the wave and the ship. You got to get really good at the wave parts at the beginning, otherwise you're just going to be stuck there forever. And also, you got to get good at controlling yourself with the ship. It's still one of the easier extreme demons in the game, 100%, because, you know, a lot of the levels, a lot of the timings, this is all just about testing your stress and making sure that you can stay consistent when you're near the end of the level and you really don't want to mess up. So the timing stuff are easy, but man, is it ever like a ship challenge, and you got to get ready to fly well. It's a very good level just because of that, because some of the really hard parts in levels coming up in this category of difficulty are like very ship and wave heavy. I mean, there are levels like Decay that practice like a lot of timings and stuff, but there are a lot of like hard ship parts you got to get used to, and Cataclysm just gets you so ready for that. It's such a good beginner extreme demon. The next level I'm going to recommend is one called Corrosion by Killa. This level's awesome. It's really long, and it used to be an insane demon, and I did put it in a video for the hardest demon of each category. This was at one point like the hardest insane demon, but now it's an extreme demon. There are a couple parts that are really hard, but you know, I definitely think this should be a really hard insane demon. But either way, now that it's an extreme demon, it is a perfect beginner extreme because it's not crazy difficult, but man, is it ever long. And so it's really good for nerve control. So it's really good at getting your consistency up, and making sure that you can perform once you get further on in the level. But like a lot of these timings, they aren't that hard. But once you get like a bit further on, oh yeah, like that tight wave right there, like it's not super tight compared to other extreme demons. Compared to like AQ and Cataclysm, it's not that tight, but it's just, it comes at like the 2-minute mark. So you gotta be on your game, you know? So it's really good for nerve control. It's not super hard, but man, it's just, you got to be consistent. It's kind of like Yatagarasu in that way, but much easier. So yeah, I think this is a really good beginner extreme demon to do. And I also think this level's just awesome. I really enjoyed grinding this level. So the next level I'm going to recommend, I actually haven't played, but this is the easiest beginner extreme demon 9 circles level. So I have to include it on the list because I haven't done like a beginner 9 circles extreme. I did down base, but that's like an easy, it's not a beginner. So the easiest 9 circles level is called Cerebral Hemorrhage by Nate. This was meant to be the easiest extreme demon 9 circles level. I haven't beaten it yet, but if you do want to do an extreme demon wave heavy 9 circles level, this is definitely the one to do. So I watched a video for this, and you can see some of the wave patterns seem a little bit crazy, but compared to things like down base, which are like a step up, they're not as bad at all. This is definitely a level that looks very feasible and is just a very, very easy extreme demon. So yeah, this is the one that you would want to do if you want to do just 9 circles themed. Once you've done 1 or 2 of those beginner extreme demons, the next one I highly recommend is like a second extreme demon if you want to just work your way up, would be something like Hypersonic. Hypersonic, it's just a smidgen harder than the other ones. It's still considered a beginner extreme, but I would say it's definitely got some really hard moments like this right here that put it like a step up of the other ones I recommended, but it's a really good second extreme. So do Hypersonic if you haven't done it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys got some levels out of it that maybe you didn't expect. Not some of the ones that people typically recommend. I actually went through all the demon levels that I had played to do this, so it took me a long time to make this list, but I hope it helps. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer, and just give you guys like a helping hand. I'll come back to this video every now and then. Leave a thumbs up, helps me out a lot. And as always, guys, peace.